Hello, this is Lisa Allen, and in this video I'm just going to go over really quickly the foods that you're allowed to eat on the HCG diet. So let's get started and let's move on to the next slide. In the HCG diet, you are allowed to have at each meal, and that is lunch and dinner. Breakfast is slightly different, and we'll go over that in a second. But at each meal, you're allowed to have one protein from this protein list. There is one vegetable that you're allowed to have from a list. Also, one grissini breadstick or melba toast, and then also a fruit. And I'll show you the list of the fruits that you're allowed to have. So let's start with the protein list. The proteins that you're allowed to have are lean beef, chicken breasts, shrimp, and any kind of non-oily fish. By lean beef, we mean with all visible fat trimmed and not very much fat marbling in the meat. Things like a round steak are good. You can do hamburger as long as it's 96% lean or more. With the chicken breast, just the breast. Don't do the tenderloins. Make sure there's no skin or fat on the outside of the chicken breast. Shrimp is fine. Non-oily fish, no tuna or salmon, and so go with something like a whitefish, sole, or flounder are all good choices. On the prep and cooking, make sure you purchase meats without additives or any kind of broth added or flavor enhancers. Also on the cooking, no oils. You can broil them, steam cook them, or pan cook in water. I like to slice mine up really thin and cook them in just a tiny bit of water in a frying pan. It works great. So the vegetable list, here are the veggies that you're allowed to have. You can have tomatoes, cucumbers, asparagus, onions, radishes, lettuce, spinach, celery, beet greens, chard cabbage, chicory, and fennel. On the tomatoes, you should only have one medium to large tomato, but on the other vegetables you can pretty much eat as much as you like because they don't have very many calories and not very much sugar. But tomatoes do have just a little bit too much sugar in them, so you should only have just the one. Prep and cooking, again, raw, lightly steamed, or you can put them in soups, no oils, and organic if possible. Now keep in mind that on the veggies list you're allowed to have one of these per meal, and you are not supposed to mix veggies. Fruit choices. At lunch and dinner you can have one of these fruit choices. You can have one small to medium apple of any type. Now the pink ladies are my favorite. Maybe you have another favorite that you like better. Medium sized orange, a half a grapefruit, or a handful of strawberries, but again only have one. If you need to, like say you're a person who really needs to eat a little bit more at breakfast, you can split your fruits up a little bit and have say half of the apple with breakfast and half of it with lunch, and then have your orange at supper, but do not eat both fruits at one meal. The other things that you're allowed to have: two grissini breadsticks or melba toast daily. Make sure you split those up, don't eat them together. One at each meal is the general way that it's done. You can have the juice of one lemon daily. This is fantastic for making lemonade. Also, you can have up to 1 tablespoon of milk. Do not use non-dairy creamer as your milk because that often has a lot of additives and stuff in it that will kind of halt your diet a bit. Spices. These are some really great choices: salt, pepper, cider vinegar, garlic, cinnamon. But make sure when you shop for your spices that there are no starches, additives, no aluminum, no MSG in your spices. You can also use stevia as a sweetener, and I've used the flavored stevias a lot in our house, and they are absolutely yummy. So don't miss out the chance to satisfy your sweet tooth a little bit with some stevia. Also, so let's go over really quickly what a day of meals would look like. Breakfast, you can have coffee or tea, unlimited. A lot of people will put the 1 tablespoon of milk a day that they get into their coffee or tea in the morning. If you have trouble going without your breakfast, try eating half of your lunch fruit serving for breakfast. Don't substitute non-dairy creamer for milk and tea and coffee. At lunch, you can have 100 grams of one of the lean proteins that we talked about earlier, one vegetable from the allowed veggies list, no mixing. Also, one grissini breadstick or a melba toast, one serving of fruit from your allowed fruits. And then at dinner, you can do the same thing, 100 grams of the lean protein. Now, it's important that at dinner you have a different 4 choices than you had at lunch. Just don't eat the same thing every day. That will help you a lot with not becoming bored, and also it seems to improve the weight loss. So where can I find out more? Well, there is a whole lot more to find out about shopping for the HCG diet. We've got a great article on that on our blog at hcgdiet.onesourcehcd.com, and we also have HCG diet supplies available at www.onesourcehcg.com, and I'll see you there. Bye.